Was over at the office a couple weeks back, and the conversation came up. This is right before the Super Bowl. Conversation came up about who are the 10 greatest Seahawks players ever to play. And of course, Russell Wilson got on the list quite a few times, but I'm one of those people that was a huge fan of Russell Wilson back in the day. Back in the day. I had his jersey when I walked out of MetLife Stadium after our very first Super Bowl win. But I have a hard time putting a player in the Seahawks Hall of Fame of a player who asked his coach to get fired. Let me rewind that. He went to the coaches and said he wants to let Russ cook. He wants to be more the focal point of the offense. That's kind of more of a me attitude. Then when he was kind of shut down from that situation where we want to play ball control offense, and we tried it for a few weeks where, the team was more explosive, but when teams caught on, he still forced the action and got intercepted a lot. And the coaches went back to, the pound of ground chuck game. And then, he, at the end of the season, he said, hey, look, he went to the general manager he went to, Jody Allen and said, hey, we need to change in the coaching staff. We need to either get rid of the coach or the general manager or both. And that right there, just rubs me the wrong way. Players should not be going to manage to ownership and asking for coaches and general managers to be fired. That just shows how much you're full of yourself. Then when he didn't get his way, he forced his way off the team. He actually tried to force his way the year before, but was told the salary cap number, the cap hit number was so astronomical that they just couldn't do it. And they said, look, just play out this next year. If you still feel the same way, we'll let you go and we'll find a, suitable trade partner. Came back to them the following year after his finger issue, and he basically said, yeah, I still want to get out of here. And so he forced his way out. You can't put somebody who asked his way try to get personnel fired from your team, then force his way out of the team and make him part of your Hall of Fame. That really rubs the wrong way in terms of team attitude. And let me explain to you from this video that I saw that I thought was great.
It was the Russ that we knew and loved. But you know how this game is. You get some attention, you get some success, you really get put on a pedestal and you get idolized. And we all know that that's not healthy for you. That's why we had so much success both on the field and outside of it, is because we recognize it's team success. There's no one individual that's more important than the other. However, as we know, when you get into that realm and you get all that success and idolization, sometimes you think you're bigger than the sum of the parts. And that's just never been the case. It's never been true. My prayer for him is that I really hope that he has people around him that are not just yes men.
Yeah, unfortunately, no. Team 3. I think you saw that on what's that ESPN show with the former kicker? I forgot his name of the show, but anyways, he talked about Team 3 getting in his ear all the time and forcing the issue. I mean, that's all directed by Russell Wilson anyways. He tries to deflect and act like he doesn't know what's going on, but this whole dog and pony show is run by him. And so, he got an inflated ego. He stopped thinking about the team and thought about himself only. Then he asked to let Russ cook, let himself cook. And they did for a little while, and then turnovers piled up, and we realized, hey, we can't be turning over the ball this much. And so we went back to our old ways. Still finished that season. What did we finish? 14? Weren't we 12-4 that year? I think we were 12-4 that year. And then anyways, tried to force his way out of town. Eventually he did. Notice in that press conference after we traded him, both the coach and the general manager said, look, this is not what we wanted to do, but, this is what happened. And they didn't come out and say it specifically, but they him and haw all the way through. Basically, Russell didn't want to be there anymore. When your franchise quarterback, who is also forced his way to becoming the highest paid player on the team, had all the special perks of that, along with, it was his prerogative to get the highest salary possible, but he never gave a team-friendly deal. And then he asked, when things weren't going his way, he asked the coach to be fired or the general manager or both to be fired. When that didn't happen, he forced his way out of the team. You cannot allow a player to be in your Hall of Fame who pulls this kind of stuff. That sends the wrong message. Russell Wilson became a non-team player. It just became about me, me, me. And because of that, I can't, in good conscience, ever put Russell Wilson in my top 10 of all-time Seahawks players. I don't care if a Super Bowl was won and he helped facilitate that. When you have a mean attitude like that and you force your way out of the team and you forced your way out, you will never be in my top 10 of all-time Seahawks.